What's up? It's the Deck Talking Devil back with you guys again for another episode of weekly reading recommendations. So, this week I have a dandy, a jewel, a great find from a well respected author who's an expert in his field, and some may say he's the foremost expert in the field in the world today. Before I reveal who the author is and what the title of the book is, I need you guys to go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, turn on those notifications, share this video so that all the people that you're connected with can also gain access to this information. Turn those notifications on so the next time there's a new video, you'll be the first to know. So, what is the book for this week? First, you have to tell me, have you been enjoying this series? Is this series really something that you're interested in, that you're benefiting from, or is it just a massive waste of time? Because for me, pretty sure it's kind of obvious, I can talk books all day. I have a passion for books, for reading, for obtaining knowledge, and it's not just books, but it's doing actual research, libraries. I know that's kind of like something prehistoric nowadays, but libraries as well is something that I'm very excited about. So for me, books is a very interesting subject, and it's also one of the things that I get asked quite a bit from people who I engage in conversations with all the time. They will say, okay, so what are some books that you recommend I should read when I'm just getting started out or to find out more information? And that's usually a very vague question for me, and I ask for clarity. Okay, what subject is it that you're interested in finding out more information about? Because that helps me narrow the list of books. Uh, because I have a lot of book recommendations. And I also kind of try to fill out the individual whom I'm speaking with, because people sometimes are at different levels, not just intellectually, but their tastes are different. You know, some people have an appetite for more scholarly works, and some people would like works that avoid like technical jargon and that are not so bogged down with charts and graphs and stats and something that's in pretty much colloquial terms. It speaks more to them. And so I try to ask some leading questions and some questions to kind of draw out more information about the person, and that really determines what book I recommend. So I've had it happen before where I'm speaking with an individual and they ask me that question, what book would I recommend about this subject? And I tell them the book that I would recommend, and somebody else chimes in, hey, I asked you about that and you told me this book. Well, yeah, because for you, I would recommend the book I told you. For this individual, I recommend this book. So, not all books, books are not one size fits all, right? We all have our different tastes and proclivities and the things that we're attracted to and excited by. So, if this segment has been beneficial to you guys, I need to know in the comment section below. All right, let me know. I want to hear from you. Give me feedback so that I can give you valuable information and not waste your time. Time's precious and it's running out. Or is it? If you believe some of these wackos out here, you think that these are the last days. Oh my God. Here's a book. Lost Christianities. Lost Christianities. All right. It's by Dr. Bart D. Ehrman, Lost Christianities. I highly recommend this book, all right, for certain individuals. Okay, I've spoken on this before, but Dr. Bart Ehrman is engaged in what we call textual criticism. Uh, and textual criticism is when you actually analyze text, different manuscripts of different texts, and you compare it to older manuscripts, older copies of that manuscript, if they exist. You compare it to cultural norms, you compare it to known historical facts and all of this, and you critique what you're trying to get back to the original, or to get as close to the original as possible. So you're checking the manuscript and critiquing a lot of different variables. And so Bart Ehrman's engaged in that. And he has books where he elaborates on that quite a bit. But this isn't one of them, because that's not everyone's cup of tea. Everyone are not fans of that kind of technical or more scholarly craft. In this book, what Bart Ehrman does, Dr. Ehrman, is introduce you to Christianity in its raw form. Okay? It's easy for us to take for granted today the form of Christianity that is ubiquitous to us. Right? We only know this form of Christianity. And that's something that we take for granted, and we kind of assume that when you say Christianity across different eras, it would have meant the same thing. And it absolutely would not have. Okay, so there were groups of Christians who absolutely thought the God in the Old Testament was the devil. He was evil. He was wicked. He was not deserving of anyone's worship. He should be abandoned, and a foregone conclusion. And now Jesus is the revealed message, the revealed good news from a different, benevolent, merciful God, not the God in the Old Testament. So there were groups, the Marcionites, who adhered to these beliefs. Then you had groups who believed that Jesus was human. He was 100% human, and that's it. You had groups who believed that Jesus was both 100% human and 100% spirit, or 100% divine. How can that be? How can he be all God and all man? The Ebionites. You had groups, and the groups believed that inside of Christianity, kind of interwoven into the inner scenes of Christianity, was this epicenter of Gnostics, this group of those who know, those who have been enlightened, those who have picked up on the clues, the breadcrumbs, and followed those crumbs to some eye-opening, brain-exploding truth that is laying in plain sight, but only those whose light has been illumined can see it. And so they believed that there was like this inner circle, this elite, who were specially chosen or gifted in some way to be able to see things and perceive things that the normal Christian would never have picked up on. There were many different phases and facets to Christianity at its inception. Christianity went through many different changes, evolutions, and revolutions. And at the end of the day, the version of Christianity which we know and love, well, some of y'all love it, not this guy. Uh, that version of Christianity, which is so familiar to us in the West, in the world today, just happens to be the version of the victors of history. And as the African proverb is said to have said, history will always glorify the hunter until the lion gets the pen. As long as history is written by those who have been victorious, then it's always going to be slanted and biased against those who were not victorious. And so we think of these different versions of Christianity as heresies today. A lot of people would call them heretical teachings. Some people would go as far as to call them paganistic teachings. Some would say that they're works of the devil, they're evil, and they were just put there to distract and detract from the real Christianity. And this is why I say they all can go to hell. Why in the fuck will God make this so damn confusing? Why would he do this? Why would he give you all of this and make them go through all of this infighting? Go through all of this bickering and battling and penis swinging to try to determine who has the authentic, legitimate, valid form of Christianity. So even in the early patristic writings, the writings of the early church fathers, you will see these varying views of Christianity, Christology or Christology, epistemology, theology, all of these things as they begin to morph. And probably the most obvious form of that are the writings of Paul, right? Where he kind of creates a theology to justify his version of Christology that he wanted to be accepted. And so some of these were the reason that you had the ecumenical council in 325 AD that was kind of overseen or sponsored by Constantine, because these different factions of Christianity were still at each other, and now you got a bunch of confusion amongst people. Like you got these people who are in the camp of Marcion, these people who was following this guy, these people who thought this, and they say, hey, wait a minute, we need to come together. Let's bring bishops from all over the world, and we need to come together and decide, what the hell do we believe? Because obviously we don't know. Nobody knows. You know? Nope. He know? No. Who knows? Nobody knows. So they had the Council of Nicaea, and they all sat around until they could come up with what they believed in. All right? They did not, at the Council of Nicaea, I've said this many times, decide what books was going in the Bible. They did not create out of thin air at the Council of Nicaea the concept of Jesus. They did not invent Christianity at the Council of Nicaea. This is not true. It is not true. It is not true. Please stop repeating that. People keep saying that, and it is irritating. That is not what happened at the Council of Nicaea. Research, please. Research. All right? And if you are known to research conspiracy theories and fringe ideologies And I'm not saying anything's wrong with that. If that's the field, the area, the niche that you kind of gravitate towards, I get it. But if you know that that's your propensity, then maybe use someone else's computer. Maybe a computer at a public library or a internet cafe shop or something. Use a computer there and don't sign in with your personal credentials. Do like some kind of anonymous search, right? Where it's in no way connected to you. Because we know how these algorithms work. If you're prone to searching for fringe information and that gets more clicks for you, then your results are gonna be biased towards what they know your proclivities are. And so you may only get exposed to more conspiracy theories and not necessarily sound scholarship. So please take that bit of advice to heart. Let me know if you've read this book, Lost Christianities, Dr. Bart Ehrman. Let me know if you've enjoyed it. Again, like, share, and subscribe. This has been the Deck Talking Devil. Until next time, keep learning, my friend.